picture this beautiful woman, all dressed up, dressed to the nines. I'm dressed in my suit. We go out on the town. And this is what I heard. Oh, he must have a lot of money.
Oh, shit. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I Hate Dating Apps. My name's Gina.
And I'm Daniel, Gina's sidekick.
No, you're more than my sidekick.
Well, Gina, today we're going to talk about a topic that hits home, particularly with me, because we're going to talk about being on dating apps while male and Asian.
Dating apps
and I'm
while
both of
Asian.
them. Check male, check Asian. Generally speaking, Asian men have the hardest time, in dating apps. There are some statistics that show that more than 90% of non-Asian women exclude Asian men in their dating apps.
They won't even appear.
Yeah, you won't even appear. No matter how good looking you are or how much game you've got no chance right off the bat. You've got a better chance with the sisters. The sisters, she'll accept Asian men, generally speaking. But even Asian women, generally speaking, it's only like 28% based on this OkCupid survey. 28% of Asian women rate Asian men higher. So that means 72% of them don't. It's kind of sad. My own daughter, who's now an adult, has told her Asian dad, she is Asian American, she told her Korean American dad that she doesn't date Asian men.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I scarred her, when she was growing
God.
up. So this is something that a lot of Asian American men are familiar with. And, we are here to talk about it. And see if the reality is there, right? And we have a couple of guests.
Joining us right now are our good friends, George and Arch. Gentlemen, thank you very much. If you don't mind introducing yourselves real quick, starting with George.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. I'm George Kitayama. I live here in Southern California. I'm in TV news management.
Hey, George. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Archith or Arch. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, right now on Little Beach Detour in Florida. I am an anchor reporter, an actor, host, as well as a yoga teacher. And I'm also single, which is exciting to be out here as a gay Indian American South Asian male, talking about the wins, or as I like to call it, the glows and the grows. So hopefully by the end of this podcast, maybe George and I won't be single, or at least those listeners of yours might be like, these are really cool. Maybe we'll date them. So listen, available and single, West Coast or East Coast, y'all take your pick.
Ooh, I love that.
That's the hope. Yeah, we're gonna.
I know. Shameless. I know.
Arch is not here for the podcast, by the way, y'all. Just in case it wasn't clear, he is here to hook up for himself.
No, there's no shame in your game, Arch.
But that's interesting. Arch, what apps are you on?
I'm on Bumble. I'm on Hinge. I'm on Tinder. I was on Coffee Mates Bagel, but I didn't really get it. There's also an Indian app called Dil Mill. It's based in California. So Dil means heart, and Mill means meat. So it's a great one for South Asians to date all around the country. I'm trying to think else. Yeah, those are the main ones: Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, and Dil Mill. I'd say those are the
Not
four.
Grindr.
No, that's a misconception. So many people ask about that, and I was like, no, I want to get to know you as a person and tell me your story, not just X-rated versions of your story. I want to see the G-rated version.
So George, what apps are you on?
Bumble, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, and Tinder.
Wow, am I the only one on just one app? I'm
gotta up
apparently
your
missing
game.
out. I got to up my game.
An interesting observation for me, being on these apps, seeing how it works, because I really don't have any discussions with my other friends, white friends, about their experience. I mean, we'll talk about who we're dating, and so where'd you meet? Oh, I met him on, OkCupid or Tinder or Bumble. And I'll say, yeah, I met her on Coffee Meets Bagel. In fact, I'm going out to have sushi with someone on Sunday.
Nice.
I met her on Bumble.
Yay, good luck. Woo! I want to hear all about that.
It's our third date.
Ooh.
Awesome. If you don't mind me asking, is she Asian, Latina, Black? She's white? Okay.
I would say about a third. I'm going to throw a stat out for you guys. I would say about a third of the people who I date are white. And I would say the 2/3 would be Hispanic, Black, and Asian. I do hear this sometimes that I'm the first Asian guy they've ever dated, or first Asian guy they ever went on a first date with. And then I ask them, I'm curious, I go, well, what was it about me that made you say yes to going out and meeting me? She says, I just felt that, race aside, that we got along so well. And I had the stereotype. She says that she has stereotypes too. And about going out with me. In fact, she told her friends about who she was going out with, and like, he's Asian? What? She's like, yeah, but and they showed a picture like, oh, okay, he looks decent.
You look beyond decent. You look great.
but I was like, okay, well, if that's your friends, right? She goes, yeah, they're funny like that. But I'm very open minded. But this is really, I never really had an opportunity to go out with an Asian. It's not that I never wanted to. It's that I never had the opportunity to find someone who is Asian and who is cool and who is intelligent. So I seized on this opportunity.
So you see,
okay.
yeah.
Am I the only one who's having issues with this?
No, hold on. The reason why Gina can't relate to this is because Asian women have a completely different experience on dating apps.
No. I'm just saying that bitch was rude. I'm sorry.
No. It's just the experience that men like George and I have when we go on dating apps.
I am not critiquing George's experience. I am critiquing the comments that this woman made that George said so nonchalantly, like he was used to it.
But that's what I'm saying. We're used to it.
No, but let me finish my thought. That where she said, "You're the first Asian guy I've been with, and I didn't know you were so smart and so good looking," or whatever George said. Like, could you imagine if I was to say, "You're the first black guy I've been with. I didn't know black people were so smart and so good looking." Like, you can't insert any other race into that sentence and have it be okay. And the fact that George said it very nonchalantly, like he expects this woman to say something like that, is what floored me. So George, did you give her a little bit of shit and say, "Excuse me," or did you just go, "Well, anyway, hot girl, when are we going to go out?"
No. It's kind of like halfway. When I heard that, the way she said it to me was that it's not that she would never have dated an Asian guy. It's that she never had the opportunity to meet someone like me because most of the stuff that comes on her feed are not Asian guys. You know, she goes, but my friends, when she had discussion with her friends, they were floored that she would go out with an Asian guy.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why are they floored?
Why does what George is telling you surprise you at all?
Because if I said, "Hey, Kevin, my friends were floored that I was dating a black guy," isn't that a little offensive?
Yeah. It's offensive as fuck. But what we're saying is
George,
that's the world we live in.
And
George
Gina,
didn't
I will
see
say
any-
this. I will say this. When I heard that, I was like, "Oh God!" But the fact that she was being honest with me and said,
Yes.
she disagreed with her friends. She said, "I totally disagree." My friends goes, they think that way, but I don't. I am open-minded compared to them. They would never date an Asian guy. She just told me flat out. She goes,
90% of if you believe the surveys, 90% of non-Asian women would not even consider dating an Asian guy. Like the woman who went out with him, she hangs out with other women who think dating Asian men is like, oh, so fucking crazy. You shouldn't do that.
There is a guy named Mike Cabellon. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. Cabellon. He is an actor and a comedian, and he wrote on an essay on the Today Show, which I shared with Daniel, saying that he felt so invisible because when he was in college, he's in a great relationship now, apparently, but throughout most of his adult life, he felt so invisible because he would go months without one swipe. And there are girls that he heard when they thought he wasn't in the room who would say, "I would never go out with Mike. I just don't like Asian guys." So this is one of the reasons why we're doing this episode, is because, like Daniel said, dating while Asian and male is apparently a pain point. And I just want to know, have you guys felt that?
I will say this. Someone I met, Asian American girl, and she told me she would never date Asian guys. I said, "Oh, why not?" She said, she only dates like white guys. I said, "Why?" She's like, "Because I feel like if I kiss them, I'm kissing my brother." I'm like, she goes, "Don't you feel like if you get together with an Asian girl that you'd be kissing your sister?" I go, "No." I said, I went to my white friends and said, I had an interesting conversation with this Asian American girl, and she said that she can never date Asian guys because she feels like she's kissing her brother. And so one of my white friends, this guy, said, "If you kiss a white girl, do you feel like you're kissing your sister?" I go, "No."
Right,
And in fact, all my white friends like,
Yeah.
"We never even thought of that." I go, "Then why is it specifically?" And she wasn't the only one. I've been told that 3 times by other Asian American women throughout my life.
Oh my God. So it's Asian women.
Yeah. I told you, my daughter says she would never date Asian men.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. If you love Korean skincare but don't know what to buy or where to buy it from, then olali.com is your answer. Olali curates the best in Korean beauty products, from top shelf items to trending new arrivals to my favorite, hard to find indie K-beauty brands. Founded by sisters Sue and Hera, Olali is like getting a recommendation from a good friend who's tried it all and tells you exactly what to buy. I especially love the Double Rose Luminizer Facial Oil, which feels so good on my dry, reactive skin. And Daniel loved the Neogen Airy Sunscreen, which feels just like a light lotion on your face, but is packed with SPF 50. Get 10% off your first order with the code IHateDatingApps, or use the link olali.com/IHateDatingApps. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com.
And I think, subconsciously or consciously, we're all impacted by the media that we're fed, right? Growing up, I had a poster of Farrah Fawcett, on my wall because she was a standard of beauty. So I grew up thinking that blonde and blue-eyed people were the standard of beauty. And we are all impacted by that. So even Asian women, unknowingly, because especially if you grew up in this country, in this society, up until recently, all the people who were popular, good-looking, sexy, were not people who looked like us, right? And the thing that used to bug the shit out of me is when every Asian dude who went on social media and said, "Woe is me, I'm so invisible, nobody likes me because I'm an Asian male." It's like, fuck, dude. Yeah, nothing sexy like self-pity. It's like, fuck, own it up, like, man up. Even if you only have 10% of the women out there who are not Asian and want to go out with you, that's still 10%. Let's prove them fucking wrong.
And that's why what you just said, I have to fight, and a lot of us have to fight those stereotypes every damn day. It's frustrating to kind of go into the world knowing that that's what's against us, what's stacked up against us.
But it sounds like you haven't really experienced it, George, just a handful of times?
A handful of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not every
my
day,
thing is
but
this. Have I been rejected? Absolutely. More often than not. I think a lot of us have been rejected more often than not. But when I get that opportunity, I will say this. There have been people say, wow, or we get to the phone call, they hear my voice. Wow, we didn't know your voice was like that. I've heard that too. Not just from even Asian women say that.
I'm interested, Arch, what is your experience as a gay Asian man been like? Is it any different?
For me, it would be nice to find someone who's, Indian American or South Asian American. But, when I'm on any of these dating apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, Dillmill, there's not as many Indian Americans, at least on the, the mainstream apps, because a lot of Asian Americans, or at least Indian Americans, aren't publicly out. So yes, there's a dearth of the population because they're not out in the first place. And I've had this, someone has reached out and they're like, oh, well, don't tell this, don't do this, don't do that. It just feels very restrictive, and that's fine. You certainly want to respect someone and not out them, but it also makes it very difficult because as it is, it's so challenging. And then you're adding more and more of a layer, like you can't meet in public, you can't talk, and it just weighs heavily on you. So then you are, literally looking for a needle in a haystack. So I think that's that challenge. The one thing that I think would be nicer, maybe this is my type A personality. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I want someone else to take the leadership and onus of organizing and planning. I don't want to always feel like I have to follow up or like, hey, are we still meeting tonight? Hey, are we still getting drinks? Are we still doing dinner? And I'm like, really would be nice if someone took that lead. And that's not always been the case. But again, I hope that works out. I've had a case where someone didn't show up twice and I was like, we're done. And I don't know if that's because I'm Indian American or Asian American.
No. Ghosting happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's very common.
I called, he didn't answer. I'm like, okay, well, there's no way you didn't answer your phone for 72 hours because you were sick with COVID.
No,
Oh, no,
that's-
ghosting.
That was a big fat lie.
Ghosting
yeah.
comes for us all.
I think the technology and dating apps makes everything so much more impersonal, and you become just images on
we
on
have
the
a
screen.
whole
Yeah,
episode on
yeah.
ghosting, by the way.
I did want to ask George, did anybody ever wanted to go out with you because you're Asian?
Ooh.
No, no one has actually come out and specifically said that.
Gina, when you're on dating apps, did any guy ever say to you, "Oh my God, I love Asian women. I would love to go out with you"? Has that ever happened?
They have not overtly said that because I think most people know that it's
Nowadays,
not cool to
yeah,
say that
yeah.
anymore. And I do have to say on this topic, and being an Asian American woman, I do not see the problems that a lot of kind of East Asian and South Asian men see on dating apps. Like, I'm a popular commodity.
Yeah,
most
absolutely.
Asian women are
Right.
popular commodities. We don't have this problem.
And that's the stereotype, because Asian women are compliant, are sexy, are exotic. Asian men are asexual.
Well, I sure
and they-
ain't,
yeah.
but,
no, I'm saying the stereotypes, and because we're talking about stereotypes and prejudices and such, and preconceived notions that people might have just because we look the way we look. But here's George living his life. He's going on dates. He's meeting people, and it doesn't necessarily look. I've been married 3 times. I hate to say it, but it's not. It's not that it's hindering necessarily. If you have the initiative and you're going to go out there, you're going to find your person. Go and just do it, right?
Yeah.
But the
I'm
reality.
sorry to interject.
Yeah.
If I could tell a quick story.
Yes,
when I was
please.
in Kansas City, one of the women I dated was this white woman. She was about 5'7" without heels. Okay.
Ooh.
So so I'm 5'8". So she said to me, as I was going to take her to this nice, we're all dolled up. I'm in my nice suit. We're going to watch a show and then go out to dinner. She says, I would really love to wear heels. Are you okay with me being tall? I go, I'm totally okay with that. Are you okay with being tall? She's like, no, I'm totally okay. Okay. So she wore her 3-inch heels. So now she's 5'10", right? So picture this beautiful woman, all dressed up, dressed to the nines. I'm dressed in my suit. We go out on the town. Okay. Went to see the show. It was great. Then we go out to dinner, went to this restaurant. We walk in. This Kansas City is not a small city.
Right.
But when we walked in, people looked, and there were Asians there, there were white, and they all looked. As we were passing by this table of Asian American, I think they were college kids, right? Maybe in their early 20s. The girls were giving my date a really bad look. Like, they're looking at her like, what the heck? And the guys were like, oh, like that. Then we passed by this table, and this is what I heard. Oh, he must have a lot of money.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Oh my God.
And I heard that, and I said, did I just hear that you said that I have a lot of money, and referring to me going out with this beautiful woman? And then she says, well, what would be the case? I'm
what?
okay.
Wow.
That is disrespectful. That is also racist. But I said, I will have none of that. I go, we like each other because we like each other. Nothing to do with anything else. And we're enjoying our night. So
I'm so glad you confronted her.
I just told her off and I walked away. And then my date says, she was like, oh my God. She said, you have to deal with that a lot. I said, it happens from time to time, but I don't let something like that slide. Even though I'm not going to
Thank
change
God.
her mind, the fact that I, for the record, said what I had to say, important to me, that I speak up and have a voice. She was like, wow. She's like, just to see you do that. She says that's incredible for me, because a lot of people would not have said anything. I go, I can't let something like that slide.
Thank God.
Good for you, though. Yeah, good for you for speaking up. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
You should have knocked off 2 stereotypes on that conversation. You should have said, oh, you think I have a lot of money? Well, that's a stereotype. You're saying that, a guy like me could go out with her only if I had a lot of money. First of all, I don't have any money. And second of all, my dick is huge.
Exactly. I'll send you the check.
Right? I was going to say really quickly, Gina, and that this is, I think, a beautiful thing that's happened or evolved at least the last decade. Is there is so much excitement about being Asian American. We see it in like representation. There's still a long way to go, but your shows like Never Have I Ever. Priyanka Chopra, a Bollywood Indian actress here. Like, people know about our culture and are excited about Crazy Rich Asians. So many shows, movies, and I think that's the beauty of art and mainstream media, playing a role in shattering stereotypes. Because I've had people just as friendships, like oh, so how is it in India? Like, do they have cows running everywhere?
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
God.
do you have eagles flying everywhere here? No, so it's not the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think when you see it in TV and film and cinema and it's normalized, I think it gives us a little bit of the ammo to normalize it with our own personal relationships, friendships, and celebrating our culture because it is an amazing and beautiful culture. But I think it's finally taken people to be like, oh, yeah, there's so much diversity in the tapestry of being Asian and Asian American.
I will say this. I was talking to one of my former photographers from Michigan. His daughter loves BTS. She wants to go to Korea,
Yep.
learn Korean, and she's even said to my friend, he says, "Yeah, my daughter even wants to marry a Korean guy, and they're white." And I said, it was just her. She goes, "No, her and all of her friends want to marry either a Korean guy or an Asian guy.
Yep.
They're all into it. They love the food, they like the language, they love the dramas. They're all into it." So I'm like, wow.
So the future is brighter. It's just too late for people like George and I.
No, it's not. It's never too late, and the future is brighter. It's never too late. But no, Gina, I was going to say absolutely. I think it's so exciting to be in a time like this where we are celebrated for a culture. People are curious. Like,
Yes.
there's so many elements of it, right? It's not just film and TV. You know, I teach yoga, and I'm into the yoga space, and appreciating yoga came from Asia, and so many things that we bring as a culture that it's not just about our food or certain elements, but all of these elements that are exciting. And I don't know, they always come up in the dating world, but I think those are certainly advantages to have or bonuses to talk about. You know, this is a beautiful part. It's a great opener to conversation. And I think that's super exciting. You don't have to love every bit of it, but I think when there's a little bit here, a little bit there, I think it's really cool.
That's a great positive note to end this on. So the future is a lot more optimistic. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Great stories. Really loved meeting you and talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, I hate dating apps because you can't love with them, but
You can't love without them either.
God darn it. All right. Well,
See you next time.
see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.